Oh boy, I didn't want to make this video. So if you've kept up with the channel as of late, then you would know that I've gotten into power scaling lately. In last week's video, I exposed Goku as a fraud and made a short list of characters who could beat Goku. So if that sounds interesting to you, then go check that video out. But back to what I was saying. So I was sitting in my room the other day, vibing, trying to decide whether I should watch uncensored anime or read a doujin when a thought came up into my mind. And I suddenly found myself thinking this question. What anime characters could I beat in a fight? And so I thought and debated with myself for hours, picking and choosing characters I could probably beat in a fight. And oh boy, some of these are wacky. So yep, in this video, I will be the subject of the power scaling. And before we get into it, I'd hate to be that guy. But please like and subscribe. I work hard on these videos and they get like no views, so please help me out in the algorithm a bit. Alright, let's begin our date. Now I don't like to brag, but I think my overall strength is above average. I go on a lot of runs, so my stamina is alright. And I also know a good amount of wrestling and boxing. So when thinking of characters whose asses I could beat, I had to start off small. I didn't want to even attempt to make an argument against a Goku, an Ichigo, or another overpowered battle anime character of sorts. So I went to the bottom of the barrel, scraping together a small list of characters who don't fight that I could beat. Characters like Yui, Nadeshiko, Renge, or Nashikata, which is pretty self-explanatory. I don't even want to fight them because they don't really fight at all and probably aren't all too powerful, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. Now, as many of you know, Monogatari is my favorite anime series. So in this debate, I had to give myself a dub over at least one Monogatari character. My only problem is, Monogatari characters can be pretty damn good at fighting. I guess I could beat up Hanekawa. I mean, her own family thought so too. But I'm not too sure I'd want to mess with her as I'd probably die that night at the hands of Black Hanekawa. So I'm gonna move on from the Monogatari series. Random side note, but I wish Rika's Chinibyo ass would try to fight me. I would out Chinibyo her any day of the week. I would beat her up with my knife. How would I beat her up with my knife? Well, I would have a knife and pretend it's a Bankai or something. She would believe it, and bam, I would bonk her to death with my Bankai. Another series whose characters I could mostly beat is SAO, because while I'm not an ultra gamer man, I could just sneak into whatever room Kirito's in while he's playing his game, and badly injure him while he's plugged in. He's not gonna notice. He's in the freaking VR headset thingy. Think about it. Alright, enough of the joke answers and weak characters. Let's step it up a bit. I came to the conclusion that I could take on some sports anime characters who are more durable and probably physically stronger than the Slice of Life group. I could beat up Kramer from Farewell My Dear Kramer, not that I want to of course. Yuri from Yuri on Ice and Daigo from Major Second come to mind as well. And I think I would stand a good chance against Hinata. It depends on if he knows literally any fighting or not, because he is really athletic. But I think I could beat him. Because like I said, his athletic abilities are great, his agility and speed are unmatched by me, but if we get into an actual grappling session, it would be game over. Also, I'm like 3 inches taller than him, which is crazy because I'm freaking short. And I also weigh a lot more than him. According to the wiki, he's like 120 or something like that. And I'm like 185. So if we actually got into it, I think I could just sit on him and be fine. But you know what? I won't say I could 100% beat Hinata because I have a feeling that Haikyuu fans wouldn't like that. I'll just say my chances are significantly higher than if I chose to fight Mad Dog instead. Deku before working out, Ash without his Pokemon, Shinji without the Eva. Don't mind me. Just throwing out some other characters I could beat. Oh god, I just vividly imagine myself actually beating the ever-living crap out of the Slice of Life characters I mentioned earlier. And oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. I'm a horrible person for saying I could beat them up. And I don't mean like anime satire joking beat up fighting. I imagined it in great detail. Some ultra 4K HD Blu-ray IMAX stuff. Blood, gore, and everything. God. Speaking of God, I could probably beat Hina in a fight. You know, from the day I became a god. Speaking of God, I decided to end this off with some god tier characters I could beat. Not necessarily god tier in their own verse, but if these boys were in our actual universe, they would be gods. So listen up. Sit down, get yourself some popcorn, some tea, whatever refreshments you need. Get comfy. Okay, you ready? You better be. Now, the strongest character that I could even have any chance of beating would be all the pervs. Think about it. Jiraiya, Master Roshi, and even though I gave up on Monogatari characters, Araragi, I never said this video was who could I kill in a death battle. It's just on who I could beat in a fight. And technically speaking, immobilizing the opponent counts as winning the fight. Now, how would I immobilize them? you may be asking. Valid question. I'm not even mad at that question. But you guys are severely underestimating my abilities. All I would have to do is cross-dress in an Astolfo cosplay or just anything that makes me look like a woman, and then I'll seduce them, and while they're not paying attention, knock them out with some sort of drug or some other method to just get them asleep. And then technically I win. Man, if I could actually get away with this technique against Issei from High School DxD, then that would easily be the strongest character I could beat. Because technically, you could make an argument that he's stronger than Goku. And like the rest of the characters I just named, I would have to find a way to seduce him and knock him out before he could power up. So there you have it. Those are the strongest characters I could beat. And yeah, I know that last answer was cheating, but hey, I tried. What do you want me to do? Actually beat Goku with my bare fists without any cheating? Like, that's stupid. I gave you guys realistic answers. Accept it. But yeah, that's where my little think session on who I could beat in a fight ended before I realized that I was wasting time because these are fictional characters. This will literally never be a situation I'm in. And power scaling is a waste of time in general because like I said, it's purely hypothetical and these fights would never happen anyways. But hey, if you enjoy power scaling, then you do you. It's just not for me. That being said, I'll probably do more power scaling videos like this soon anyways. But yeah, if you enjoyed that video, press a like, subscribe. I'll give you a big smooch on the cheeks. And yeah, that's really all I got. Check out last week's video. And yeah, poggers.